Hi everybody, it is Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today. I hope everybody is having a good day and staying safe as possible during this unpredictable time. If I have my days right, when I upload this video, it will be Wednesday, April 15th, 2020, which means ta-da! It's my birthday! Yay! So, happy birthday to all of my birthday twins out there and everybody who has their birthday in the month of April. So, happy birthday, everybody. I hope you have a good day. I hope you are able to get some cake. So, have a very good birthday, everybody out there who are, April babies or Aries babies, and please enjoy your birthday as safely as possible. So I thought I would take this opportunity to use my birthday video and my first Wicked Wednesday video to officially come out as a pagan. Surprise to maybe two of you. So I have not discussed this in depth with many people in my life outside of my inner circle and my mom when she was still alive. Unfortunately, she passed in September. I didn't really get to talk about it much with my dad because I was just kind of getting on the path when he passed away in 2013. So um, it's something that is very important to me, but I find a lot of misconceptions about it, as well as a lot of confusion. So I thought I would take a few moments here to, well, when I say a few moments, it's going to be a little bit. I'm going to discuss a little bit about what paganism is as much as I can, and I'm going to also try to do some Q&A that I have gotten myself or some of my friends have gotten that are the most common questions that you get if you are pagan, and some of them are extremely weird and some of them are offensive. But these are questions that we actually get a lot. It's weird. Um, so what is paganism? So I want everybody to understand that paganism is a very blanket term. It basically is a term for any religion or belief system that does not fall under the traditional world religions, such as Christianity, Muslim, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism. It is something that is different than those major religions. And I know there are other major religions as well, but it's not the ones that are those, basically. Um, the word pagan comes from the Latin phrase paganus, which means simply country dweller. So if you're going by that definition, many of you are actually pagans and you didn't know it. um yeah, that's kind of funny. I want to people to remember that there are lots of categories under the blanket or under the umbrella of paganism. But just because you're one doesn't mean that you're the other. For example, if you're a pagan, it doesn't mean that you're a witch. It doesn't mean that you're a Wiccan. It doesn't mean that you're a Satanist or a folklorist or somebody that believes in the Gaelic religion or the Greeks and Roman religions. But you could just it's like not all Wiccans are pagan, but all pagans are Wiccan. Something like that. I don't know. I missed that day in my logic class, but anybody who falls under the Wiccan or the sorry, anybody who falls under the pagan category can simply be a pagan and nothing else. So it doesn't mean that you practice witchcraft. It doesn't mean that you're a Satan worshiper. It doesn't mean a lot of things. It just simply means that you're religious or spiritual beliefs fit outside of the traditional normal religious doctrines that are accepted in the world. Um, Again, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. What I've seen about the thought process of paganisms, what people believe, is that pagans are very self motivating and manipulating, which means they are obsessed with their own personal passions and their self power, indulgent, immoral, and are obsessed with materialism. There's always some, you know, negative things that people have to say about any religion or any spiritual beliefs. And uh, I don't know any pagans that are like this. Um, I don't know. I'm definitely not that person. Here are some blanket beliefs. And I found this on um, gotquestions.com. So some blanket beliefs is everyone is considered being part of Mother Earth. So everybody, every human that you meet, we're all part of Mother Earth. Um, Divinity itself reveals itself through every facet of this world. So whatever your divine is, it is in everything in your world. You can see it in the sunshine. You can see it on a child's face when they smile. You can see it in your dog's wagging tail. You can see it in the pretty colors and the clouds and the sky. It's in everything. Every human and every animal is a derivative of the divine. And if every god or goddess is a derivative of that divine as well. So if you worship a god or goddess, they are also part of the divine. And whatever your divine being may be, it might be one being, it might be several, it might be male and female, it may not even be human. Whatever you believe in, we're all part of the divine, and the divine is ahead of everything. Um, Most, but not all pagans don't have a ruler, a prophet, a messiah, a priest, a minister, a guide, whatever you want to call it. There are some that do, but most don't. Um, your doctrine is completely personal, it's your own responsibility, and it grows and changes with you. And pagans believe in solar and lunar cycles that are significant, and they are significant to them and their daily lives. So that is just some blanket things that fall under the pagan umbrella. Not everybody believes these, but those are a lot of the backbone of what I believe. um, you know, yeah, so I'm going to go through some of the questions that I get asked, and some of my friends who are also pagan or in the pagan umbrella. I am going to tell you some of the questions that we get asked frequently, and I will answer them as best as I can for myself, but not for anybody else. So keep in mind, this is me answering questions that we get so frequently that sometimes we wish we had a dime for every time we got a question. So, do you worship the devil? No, absolutely not. The devil is not in everybody's craft. The devil does not exist in everybody's belief system. There is evil and there is good, but it doesn't mean that there is a red dude with a pointy stick book, book, ready to poke you and ready to take you to eternal damnation. Um, I do not worship the devil. No. There are people who fall under the paganism category who do. And I don't have any sort of problem with that. Um, Again, I am not a person who's going to tell you that your religion or your belief system and structure is right or wrong unless you are hurting someone. Um, that's something a little different. It's a case by case basis, and I will not invalidate anybody's beliefs based on a tiny percentage of people who do some pretty bad things, but that goes for Christianity too. I don't invalidate their religion based on some pretty horrific things that people have done, but it's a small percentage if you compare the amount of people who are actually Christian. So I'm not here to argue or invalidate anybody's belief system or structures. They're yours. And I would love to discuss them because I can actually have polite conversation about religion and politics. We all should be able to do that because if we can't talk about that, then everything else is superficial. So, hey, are you evil? I think there's a little evil Lisa that lives inside of me that dances around and goes, I am evil Lisa. I am evil Lisa. I don't think I'm evil. Yeah, I personally don't think I'm evil. Do you realize that you're going to go to hell? Do you realize that I don't believe that you speak for me or for the damnation of my soul? I don't also believe that you speak for your divine being, whether that be God or Buddha or whoever. How do you speak for them? How do you know what's going to happen to my immortal soul? I would be worried about yours, not mine. The whole judge not, lest least you be judged thing. Think about that. Do you have an altar? I do. Can I see it? Absolutely not. That is not all pagans have altars. I have one. It is something extremely personal to me, and the reason that I don't let people see them, unless I specifically invite you to see it, I believe it is like if you were praying and your prayers are extremely personal and intimate, that's like asking somebody to listen into them as you pour out your very personal prayer. Um, my altar is very special to me, and I take very good care of it. And if I invite you, then there's a reason for it. But otherwise, no, you can't see it. It's just it's not my comfort level to share my altar with you, but it might be a comfort level of other people who fall under the pagans. And why do people even ask this question? I don't get it. Can you put a hex on my ex? Are you a poet and didn't know it? No. No. Can you do a love spell for me? I could, but do you really want me to? I mean, that's the thing. If you want me to do a love spell, I'll throw something together, dude. And again, not all pagans do this, and this is just me answering these questions. Um, but would you really, really want someone to do that? And would you, if you got what you wanted, would you ever just sit there and question, well, does this person like me because of me, or do they like me because of interference? Yeah, I won't do that. That's not my it's not my jam, man. Do you believe in God? Yep. Do you worship nature? I do not worship nature. I am respectful of nature. I commune in nature. Nature is my church, but I do not worship nature itself. I respect it. Uh, because you are pagan, does that mean you don't believe in God? I mean, just got that a little bit ago. It was kind of redundant. No. There are pagans who do not believe in God. Um, there are pagans who believe in many gods. Up to you. Are you an atheist? No. Do you use any tools, tarot cards, pendulums, oracles, dowsing rods? I'm not going on a ghost hunt. Yes, I do use tools. Tarot cards, yes. Oracle cards, yes. Pendulums, no. Dowsing rods, only if I'm looking for water. I used dowsing rods as a kid over at my grandpa's house when we were uh, going to mow his lawn, and we were trying to make sure we weren't getting over the water line because it was really hard to see. And you would use dowsing rods to locate where the water was. So unless I'm in need for looking for water, I'm not going to use dowsing rods. I'm also not going to do that unless I'm going ghost hunting. But the purpose of dowsing rods is to look for water, which I have done before. And yes, I have used dowsing rods before, but I've used them for the reason that they are made. And they do work. You will definitely find a water source. Um, will you do a reading for me? Sure. Ask me. Ask me. I'll do a reading for you. Um, do you curse people? Damn you, Scuba Steve! Damn you! Big Daddy. No! I don't curse people. Some people who are pagan do, but I don't. Do you like rocks a lot? Oh my god, yes. This has been a problem since I was a child, and I've collected so many rocks over my life. I actually, at one point, wanted to be a geologist, but to be honest, I just really liked pretty rocks. um, do you believe in the power of three or the threefold law? I don't personally. Now, if you don't know what the power of three / the threefold law is, that means that everything that you do, you will get it back to you threefold. So, just a very, very, very simple example. Hypothetically, you give someone in need $1. Well, that means you're going to get $3 back to you somehow. And I know this is a superficial but very simple explanation. Now, you may not get $3 back in cash, but you might get a $3 off coupon, your dog food that you really, really needed. So some people very much believe in that. I personally don't. I believe in the power of intent, and I believe that yes, there are bad things that can come back to you, but I don't think it's necessarily a threefold thing. Do you believe in horoscopes and fortune cookies? I love fortune cookies. Fortune cookies are fun. That's all they are. They're just an American cookie made to seem like they're from China. They're really not. They have nothing to do with Chinese food. They're an American cookie with a little fortune written on it and sometimes lottery numbers. It's fun. Have fun with them. Do I believe in horoscopes? Horoscopes are also very, very fun. I know that they are based on astrology. Astrology is extremely interesting. I am not smart enough to be able to function in that world. I'm also extremely dyslexic, so it is hard for me, especially when it comes to numbers, because this has to do with degrees and how the universe moves. It's actually a very, very beautiful thing, but I am not able to wrap my mind around that because of the dyslexia, but I appreciate people who can. Do you read palms? I don't personally. I wish I could. Are you psychic? Yes. Do you hear voices in your head? Doesn't everybody? Sunny says hi. And yes, I fidget a lot. Do you sacrifice things? I don't. Absolutely not. There are people who fall under the pagan umbrella that do, and I don't necessarily like that. It is their right, but I mean, obviously, if it comes to sacrificing humans, no. I try. No, I really try not to judge a small bit of people who do that. I try to just stay away from it, to be real honest with you. It's not something that I am comfortable with, nor is it something that I would ever do. There are people who do it. I am not comfortable with it. I just stay away from the whole situation. Do you see dead people? Yep. Um, I have, you know what? I will do some story times about those coming up, and I will go into more details about the particular ghosts I have seen in my life, the dead people I have seen in my life. And trust me, I was not the only one that was seeing them. So, yes, I have seen dead people. Do you have a lot of jars? I do. I have I save jars now, spaghetti jars, pickle jars, things like that. I save them, wash them out, and yes, I use them. Not every pagan uses them, but I do. And yes, I have a lot of jars. Do you have voodoo dolls? I am not voodoo, so I am not a voodoo practitioner, so I do not have a voodoo doll. Um, I would never get one as a souvenir. I would never walk into a place and buy a voodoo doll. I think that's extremely disrespectful. Um, if just to let you know, voodoo dolls are not all bad. They're not all, stabby, stabby, let's bring pain to someone. And there are many different types of dolls, dollies, puppets in this category. My mom made dollies, my grandma made puppets. So I don't have a problem with these types of tools as long as they aren't being given over to someone who will use them without any education first. And it's like putting a stick of dynamite in a child's hands with a match and say, have fun. I don't think it's very smart. I don't like them for commercial purposes. Um, you know, there's nothing wrong with them. I have no problem with bone dolls either. That's also that's an old tradition. And I don't have any problem with them because there's a lot of history with them. And my grandma used to have some bone dolls. But um, again, those are very specific things. And I don't think using them for a commercial purpose is appropriate in any sense. But I do think it's important to know what they are and to carry on some of these traditions, because some of these traditions aren't just pagan traditions. They are traditions that many people have used for thousands of years and for many different reasons. And many of these stories of dollies and puppets and bone dolls are extremely fascinating. So yeah, I just don't like the commercialism. Have you ever done a spell? Yes. I have no problem admitting that I have done a spell against people. Two in particular. One was causing bodily harm to me, and one was trying to cause bodily harm to themselves. So I don't really think it's against, but did they both work? Absolutely. Um, I don't know what you call those things, a spell, a prayer, an intent, whatever, but I needed a person who was extremely abusive to stay away from me. And lo and behold, he did. And I needed another person who I love very much to stop hurting themselves. And they did. Um, there were a lot of steps, and I can't say that what I did made any difference, but I put a lot of intent in there, so I hope that it made some difference, especially to the one who needed the help. Do you believe in karma? Karma is everything that you do comes back to you. Yes, I do believe in the concept of karma, but not necessarily the concept of karma with threefold law, which is what I covered earlier. Do you believe in reincarnation slash past lives? Yes. Um, I will do a story time on that sometime, and I will tell you about my very weird experience at the age of 2, um, about a past life. And it was very strange, but I will be happy to share that on a different one because I'm rambling on here. But again, all of these questions are questions that um, we as pagans get all of the time. These are the general questions that we get all the time. I answer them mostly for myself. I'm not answering for anybody else unless I said, hey, this is what I do, but this is what other people may or may not do. I don't want to put people in a box. I do want to say that I respect people's beliefs. I respect your belief system. I respect your spirituality, your religion, whatever. I will never poke fun. I won't tell you that you're wrong. I don't, I'm not trying to prove anybody right or wrong. Whatever you believe, and you have the right to believe that. Um, there are bad eggs in every spirituality and every religion and every anything that you can think of. There are bad eggs in all of them, but that bad egg section does not necessarily define the whole. And um we've been persecuted for years as people who believe in paganism, but I have a long family history of, I can trace back my roots of the Celtic worship and the Salem witch trials and family members of mine being burnt at the stake. I, you know, this is who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. It has taken me a long time to be able to get to the point where I could say it because of, to be honest, some people's opinions of me. Um, I used to really think about what people cared, and as the older I got, I'm like, well, if you aren't paying my bills, I don't care. You're not directly involved in my life. I don't care, and I don't have time to care about your opinion about me because it's none of my business, to be real honest with you. But I'm trying to break some sort of stigma. It will never happen because we have thousands and thousands of years against us of persecution and anger and hatred and misinformation. And, one little video isn't going to change that. I am who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I am not the devil. I'm not going to hell. I still believe in God, and I also believe in other things. So it doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me evil. It doesn't make me the mark of the devil or someone who needs to be stoned or any of that crap. I'm just another person like you. I'm a very spiritual person. I pray in my own way. I believe in my own way. But I'm not going to tell you guys that you are wrong. So I hope that you respect me enough to ask questions if you don't understand, instead of just assuming or damning me or, changing your opinion of me because of a religious belief. I'm not going to do that to you. If you come to me tomorrow, especially some people very close in my life, and say, hey, I worship Saint, and I'm like, hey, good for you. You know, it's your choice, it's your life. As long as you are not hurting anybody or any being, what's the problem? I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. I'd love to discuss things. I do. But I'm never, ever, ever going to tell you that you are wrong, because your beliefs are your beliefs and you are entitled to those beliefs. That's the one good thing of living in this country of the United States, because we are able to have opinions. So, you know, unfortunately, this path of paganism is frowned upon in a lot of communities. And it's not my job to change everybody's mind, but it is my job to speak my own truth, which is this is who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I don't think I'm in any sort of wrong path. I feel better now than I have in years, really accepting who I am as a person. And I this is not something that's unfamiliar to me. This is something that has been around me my whole life. I just have finally become brave enough to accept it. And I had a long conversation about this with my mom before she died. And the reason I wasn't scared when my mother died was I knew she was going to heaven. There was no doubt in my mind that my beautiful mother, with all her beliefs and her everything, she was such a beautiful, kind soul that if there is a heaven, that's where she's going. And I hope there is one. I hope. People die and kill for beliefs. I like having good ideas about things. I like having hope about things. I really hope if there's a place called heaven, my mom is there. And I have a good idea that if there is, then my mom would be there. So I hope we can have a civil discussion about this. And I hope that this will be a new chapter in my life where I'm able to live a little bit more openly about who I am as a person, which is still the same person I was yesterday, just a little more vocal about it today. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please stay safe wherever you are. Remember that every single day that you get is a gift. Use your time wisely. All right, everybody, I will talk to you later. Bye.